YouTube, what's going on, guys? Patch here. Today I want to talk about Cardano, but more importantly, 3 convincing signs that the Bitcoin bears might be done selling. If that's the case, we are due then for a trend reversal. Time to see a little bit more green after a pretty bloody last 2 weeks. I want to talk about the potential, what it's looking like, everything that goes on with that. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Really quick, also, if you guys want to see every trade myself and my expert team are entering in real time, check out the first link down below in the description. Every altcoin trade, every leverage trade, you'll get access to the #1 community in this space, and it is free for 14 days. For 14 days after you sign up, you won't get charged. If it doesn't work for you, you don't like it, whatever it is, no questions asked, you can cancel and you'll avoid getting charged. But let's go into the Bitcoin price action straight away before we talk about the signs of the Bitcoin bears being done selling. Starting off with a daily time frame, we have had this pretty big dip. Again, the last few weeks have been straight down for the most part with very, very little, if any, action to the upside. It's just been down, down, down. Recently, we saw a little bit more consolidation, maybe we could call it, with some pretty big green candles. However, this is where things get interesting. And the close the next few days, especially this weekend coming up, which is a little bit of a longer weekend, particularly in the US, I think it's a little bit of a longer weekend. You guys know how weekend volume tends to be. A lot of manipulation goes on during the weekends. Low volume, price swings are a lot, but they could happen a lot easier, which is why we usually see those Sunday dumps. Now, we were really low below the EMA ribbon. We had the EMA ribbon cross bearish. We started to come down to this way. Now we are inching our way back up to potentially test the EMA ribbon as resistance. This wouldn't count to me as testing it yet. We still have some room to cover, and I believe there is a CME futures gap to be closed. I don't have it open. We can look at it on the next video, to be closed as well up in this range over here in the low to mid $40,000 range. So a lot of these things that are kind of lining up with Bitcoin having this recent move to the upside, this much bearish action was eventually going to be met with some form of bounce. This going down forever, especially in an emerging market with a lot of really good signs behind it, a lot of developments happening over the last few months. It wasn't just going to drop down, straight down, only red, unless we were actually going to zero, which at this point, I believe we can take off the table. I don't think that's going to happen. It would take something catastrophic. Now, if we go to the 1 hour time frame, this is where we get a little more interesting because we were below the EMA ribbon here, right? Ever since we had this flip below the EMA ribbon, we've been trading all the way down. Now, we recently had the bullish flip of the EMA ribbon, and more importantly, we actually had this resistance that was set up for quite a while over here, which we bounced multiple times off of as resistance. Then we had that break above, and that break above was followed by a beautiful retest of this resistance, of this trend line, before bouncing up and now coming into this range over here, which is the EMA ribbon. That's going to be indicator for the short, let's say call it the next few hours. For the short term, if we are going to break below again, have the flip happen, and then see how Bitcoin is going to react that way, or if we will continue to have a break to the upside. Because as of right now, when we were having lower lows and lower highs continuously, we then had a high followed by a higher high, and a low followed by what we can see here, a lower low, another higher high, and potentially forming another higher low. I think I might have messed that up at some point. It's a lot of words. You guys get what I'm trying to say. This is the important part. So this is the trend that we are having in the 1 hour time frame. It's going to be important, right? If we do just have another break below, then we might start seeing those lower prices again. I've seen people already call for a retest of that 28K, 30K range, which at this point is, possible, but keep in mind, majority of people are always going to be wrong, right? Before, the same people calling for 28K Bitcoin now, we're calling for 100K Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 60K, and we're also calling crypto a scam back, in 2018, if they even got in at 2018, bought the peak at 20K, called it a scam in 2018, then called for 100K at 60K, then now call for 28K at 40K. Keep in mind, the majority of people are always going to be wrong. If it was that easy for everyone to be right and everyone to be rich, everyone would already be rich. But there's a reason why, even in a market that gives us so much opportunities, that just hands out money if you're doing things right, most people still lose. Most people still lose. Hypothetical gains do not count. I've seen this happen a lot. People, bought Bitcoin at 40K. Fantastic. Rode it up to 60K. Fantastic. Took no profit. Bitcoin was going to 100K. That was the end. That was the, it's 100K or nothing. 100K or nothing. and then Bitcoin went down to 32K. If you bought at 40 back when, watched it go to 60, didn't realize any profits, watched it come back down, on paper you made money, and then on paper you lost that money, and now we are waiting for price to go back up. That's why always when it comes to trading stuff, I advocate always taking profit at the right time, whether it's trading in the USDT pair. That way we always go back to a stable coin that's going to allow us to, buy back when we see something like this, or just taking profits on your Bitcoin, whatever it is, once we head up. And especially once we start to see price action. At this point, I'm hoping people learn their lesson, but especially when we start seeing price action like this, we get our higher highs, taking profits at areas like this to be able to buy back here is a great first step. And then we start seeing the lower low, right? We start to form a lower low. A lower high. We can already start to play, the situations out in our head and start being potentially a little more cautious. That's all I'm going to say in the matter. Again, watch out for that. Now, Cardano never really had the pattern that Bitcoin started having, because even if we just look, it was a little choppy. I mean, if anybody was able to get Cardano here in the low $1, even 150s range, congratulations. You picked up a steal of a price. I was able to pick some more up at around $1.30. A steal of a price for Cardano, especially when Cardano was making, higher highs, higher high, and it was continuously making here higher lows too. We didn't really break the lows that we had set previously here, so there wasn't any really, bearish flip of the EMA ribbon on the daily. None of that really happened for Cardano. Overall, it's really just held very, very well. If we take away this, which happened during Bitcoin's, I think when Bitcoin was sideways, Cardano going, shooting up in 2 days from $2 to 2.4. Without that, things just look like stable growth, which is good. And it's exactly what we should be seeing, because it is a project that has a great community, a ton of hype and everything to it. But more importantly, it's a very, very good project. Developing a ton of stuff coming out, a ton of adoption we should be seeing happen with everything that's going on. We've already talked about Cardano a bunch. But with all that being said, I'm not saying buy Cardano here at the tip. I'm saying when we get these opportunities, I have been buying in at almost every single one, starting all the way back when Cardano was under 10 cents. And that's been the play. Yeah, we've taken profits along the way. I've told you guys plenty of times, we bought here for this breakout pattern. We took profits over here. And then I told you guys that I bought back in at around 1.1, right? I told you guys that. And then since then, we've been accumulating, and that's been the play that we've had. So watch out for Cardano. Never seen that bearish flip of the daily time frame. Few wicks down below, one close, and then shot right back up. I can't complain. It's been holding the portfolio up while some others have been taking quite the hit. All right, guys, so really quick, a word from our sponsors. Prime XBT has been working with us for a little bit, so I do appreciate them as always, and appreciate you guys watching these videos. Now, due to high demand for staking and yield-generating crypto products, co-vesting in conjunction with Prime XBT has developed the co-vesting yield accounts. Now, cryptocurrency is aiming to replace traditional finance, and one area which cryptocurrency excels is with the staking returns. Most banks pay less than 1% interest, but the rewards from staking are much, much higher. With a co-vesting yield account, users can generate passive income through staking cryptocurrency. On rollout, this will be available for USDC as well as USDT. However, but in both stablecoins. However, they are going to get Bitcoin and Ethereum rolled out coming soon, as well as some other larger cap cryptocurrencies. So by clicking a few buttons, staking offers a low-risk way to generate more tokens. You can make your crypto work for you by generating bank-beating APY. So all you have to do is sign up, go to co-vesting tab and yield accounts. Hit join the waitlist. That's by the time this is going on. Depending on when you're watching this, it might already be live. Go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested in doing so. And like I said, you can earn easy interest on your cryptocurrency. Now, with that, we actually have the COV token. They've recently added some new utilities. This came out on April 28th, so about a month ago. They've been adding more and more utility to make the token something worthwhile, something worth looking into, as well as potentially something worth investing into. Now, the token holders already have access to a bunch of unique benefits and features, including discounted fees and profit sharing. That's something we've seen some other exchanges do. However, the Cove development team has announced some updates and improvements to take things to the next level. You can look over everything that goes on over here. The two phases we have, starting with phase 1, May 2021, is boost copy trading profits by staking COV token. So being able to do that again, another way to potentially earn more, boosting your profits, is something very interesting. And then phase 2, which is coming in Q3 2021, is to generate a competitive APY with co-vesting yield accounts. So all of that coming out. We have the COV token, we have co-vesting the yield accounts, being able to earn with it, all coming from Prime XBT and co-vesting together. Something worth looking into if it is something that interests you, especially if you guys watched the last Prime XBT video and you guys enjoyed it. So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you guys for watching. Again, let's go back to the regular video. Now, looking at some of their signs about Bitcoin bears. Remember, like I said, everybody on Twitter is an expert. 99% of them are going to be wrong. At any given time, no hate to anybody there, but 99% of them are going to be wrong. And the reason is they think way too much with the retail investor side, the everyday trader side, and they don't think about, just like you should do with stocks and all of these things, they don't think about what are the whales doing? What is most beneficial to the whales? Once you start playing in the mindset of the business, the profit and loss, for the whales, what are they doing to make their money? Because they're not here to make your money. Right? The whales aren't buying a bunch of Bitcoin, so they're like, yeah, I'm going to pump the price up so that everybody can feel good. Everybody's going to be rich. We're all going to be rich together. That's not the case. No, it's how much money can I make from this? Once we start playing that mindset again, things start to make a little more sense. But these are some of the signs, again, convincing signs that we've seen in history play out for Bitcoin bears potentially being done selling. And that's starting with the exchange deposits declining, right? So the number of addresses sending to exchanges, obviously once you send, your Bitcoin to an exchange, you're potentially selling it for either stablecoin USDT, or you are also potentially selling it for just USD into your bank account, whatever you are on. Keep in mind, also note, the one thing we're looking at Bitcoin to break right now is 43K. That 42, 43K would turn, I believe, Bitcoin back into a full-on bullish momentum. As of right now, we are still a little bit consolidation, a little bit iffy which direction we go on. I do want to share with you guys just some of the information as to why we could potentially have seen the bottom already in. Now, the NVT also reached classic bullish reversal levels. That is the value to transaction, Bitcoin's network value to transactions. You can see exactly where we are here as well. If you guys want to go into more details to what each one of these are and what they're doing, go ahead. I would always recommend doing that, as well as the accumulation addresses, the address having an uptrend. More and more people during all of these dips, more and more people are, the hype, the people who bought in just because Elon said something and they were looking to make a quick buck, they sold at a loss. Whales have been buying, right? Whether it's institutional whales or whatever it is, the number of addresses with, more than 10K Bitcoin, more than 1K Bitcoin have been growing significantly, steadily and significantly over time. And I'm telling you guys, they don't want to lose money, right? In the long term, they don't want to lose money. In the short term, they want you to sell so that they can buy. And they want you to sell at 28K, at 30K. These guys don't buy at retail price. I saw something on Twitter, and we'll talk about this again. Sorry to go into a little tangent. This is important, though. I saw something on Twitter where this guy went on a thread talking about how he used to work for one of these big companies, big media, I think it was, companies. Like I said, the next video we can go into detail on if you guys want. Let me know. Comments down below. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Let me know you guys want to talk about it. But he was talking about how basically what they did was a client would go up to them and be like, hey, we want to buy Bitcoin. And they're like, all right, do you want a flash crash? Do you want a slow crash? What do you want for us to do that it's going to get the price down for you to buy it? That was the whole game plan. Set 60K. Big Whales Institute, we don't buy at 60K, right? That's what they're saying. We don't buy at 60K. Average Joe buys at 60K. We don't buy at 60K. We buy at 30K, right? So bring that price down. Bring that price down. It's happened over and over again, different ways, but he explained the whole way as to how they kind of play it with small published articles. Then they pay to get on Forbes and put those articles on there, a little bit more FUD coming out. Then they pay influencers and all that stuff. The worst kind of influencers, right? Guys who just take money for anything. They pay them, and then it drags the price lower, lower, and lower. So keep that in mind. Again, these guys do not lose. Think like a whale and what you would do to increase your wealth at this time, and your chances of getting ahead are way, way more, because everybody's looking for, who's going to give them a handout. A whale worth $2 billion is not looking to give you a handout. He's looking at how that 2 is going to be worth 10 and how he can accumulate at the low and get it up to sell it at the high. That's the whole game plan. So keep that in mind, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for rambling a little bit at the end, but we are back with content coming out now. Back from vacation. Feels good. I'm excited for the market. We'll see what happens up, down. We'll try to keep a cool head and analyze what's going on. But guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.